Hey y'all, welcome back to Mama Loves Manga. So as you can tell from the title of today's video, I'm doing a haul. I have not done a haul video in a long time, like over 6 months. And there's a reason for that. When I get into the habit of doing hauls, I tend to buy for the sake of buying. And that's not how I prefer to operate. I really try to be mindful about what I buy, although it may sometimes seem like I just be buying willy-nilly. I don't. When I was doing hauls a little bit more regularly, which wasn't really that regularly, but regularly enough for, wow, how many times can I say regularly until it starts to sound weird? Regularly. When I was doing hauls more often, I found myself just going ham just so that I could have a video to film. And I don't like that. So I have not done a haul in a long time. And I could also go into a whole spiel about how I don't want to promote overconsumption and capitalism and all of these things, but that would be slightly disingenuous because, I mean, clearly I like to buy manga. So what would I look like trying to tell y'all not to go out and buy manga when I literally, and I have a freaking shirt on that says buy me manga. So that's not my brand. And everything else in my lifestyle, I'm a minimalist. But when it comes to manga, semi mindful. These are things that I've picked up in the past 3 or so weeks. So let's get into it because this has been a long enough introduction to this video. First up, I have volumes 1 and 2 of My Brother's Husband by Gengoro Tagame. So I actually have read this series already on my Kindle, and I wanted to buy the physical copies for a while, but for some reason I kept forgetting. But at the end of August, I was in Brooklyn for Afropunk, but of course, you know, I had to go and explore, and I dragged my cousin to this comic shop. And they had these. So I was like, I'm on vacation. I'm gonna get these. I was supposed to be on a no-buy at that point. I mean, clearly that didn't. I love that they are hardcover. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is the first time I've taken off the flaps. It's precious. Oh my gosh, they're so beautiful even without the, wow, so cute. Oh my gosh, I actually think I might shelve these without, oh my gosh, they look so adorable without the dust covers. But also, the dust covers are really cute too. I don't know, maybe, you know what I think I'll do? I'm gonna frame these because they're too cute to get rid of. And I'm gonna shelve these like this because I love this. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is, yeah, they look so cute like this. So anyways, let's move on. I have a couple of one-shots. I recently picked up I recently picked up a couple of one-shots, starting with 4th generation head Tatsu Yuki Oyamato by Scarlett Beriko. This will be the second title I have read by Scarlett Beriko. My first was Jackass, and I have videos about that. I've talked about that a lot. I actually enjoyed the story, but I had my reservations, and I'm not going to mention them here because I'm sure if you've been watching me for a while, you already know. But just in case you're new, feel free to watch that video so that I don't have to annoy people by repeating myself. I am really looking forward to reading this because the cover looks spicy. It seems like this is about a guy who is next in line to be the head of this family, and he doesn't really want that responsibility. I apologize that I'm just blinding y'all with he doesn't want the responsibility of being the head of the family, but then he ends up meeting some guy, I think a masseuse, and then somehow this masseuse convinces him that he needs to step up. I don't know, did I read that right? I don't know. Also, he's questioning his sexuality. It seems interesting, so I'm gonna read this. Next up, I have Maiden Railways, but I'm so sorry. I low-key have a speech impediment, and it's very hard for me to say R's and W's close together, so bear with me. Maiden Railways by Asumiko Nakamura. I picked this up because if I'm not mistaken, I saw my girl G talk about this on Twitter a while back. She like tweeted something or retweeted something, and I was like, ooh, I don't know if it's Yuri or if it's just romances between, like, just different kinds of romances, relationships. I'm not fully sure, but I'm intrigued. And I'm just flipping through it now, and the art looks really cute. I just know that it is a romance, and it says that it's for ages 13 and up, so I'm assuming that this is going to be pretty cute and safe, you know, for work, if you read manga at work. If you've been watching my collection videos, I mentioned in one of them, and I can't remember which one, so have fun watching all of them to see which one it is. I mentioned in one of them that I had started collecting Happy Mania. I only had volume 1. I read it, I was intrigued, and I wanted to try to get my hands on the rest of them. Happy Mania is out of print, and you know what happened? Y'all, the universe said, okay, I got you. And Right Stuff ended up having a sale. And guess what I found? Volumes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 8. I was able to get the rest of the series on Right Stuff for fairly cheap. I don't exactly remember how much I paid, but I'll look it up and I'll like put it here or something if you're curious, because it was deeply discounted, and I was like, look at the universe. They were looking out. They're like, here you go, girl. If you don't know anything about Happy Mania, this is about a young woman who is a mess. She wants to find a boyfriend, but she's not very good at doing this for whatever reason. She decides that she wants to try to steal the boyfriend of her coworker. She's just messy. That's really all you need to know. And I want to read this so that I can talk about it more in depth. But she's a mess. What's her name? Shigeta? She get knocked upside her head. Okay. Luckily for y'all, this video is almost over. Next up, I have volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The Silver Spoon by Hiromu Arakawa. I'm actually more excited about collecting this than I am about collecting Fullmetal Alchemist. I know I really do have love for Fullmetal Alchemist, and I can't wait to sit down and read the manga. I think I've mentioned in a recent video that I have a lot of love for both versions of the anime, but I hadn't read the manga yet. So I am collecting that. But this right here intrigued me so much. I love slice of life. That is one of my absolute favorite. Actually, I think slice of life is my absolute favorite genre. And something that y'all may not know about me. The town that I spent most of my childhood in is a very agricultural area where pretty much everyone in like the junior high and high school was in FFA. If y'all don't know what FFA is, it's Future Farmers of America. I grew up out in the country. We had 40 acres of land, and we had pigs. We had chickens. I raised chickens. We had a garden that mostly was tomatoes and jalapenos. We had a goat once. That goat he ended up getting, he got. We had neighbors who had cows, and so they kept their cows on part of our land. Like, we rented out part of our land to them so they could, you know, graze their cows. And there were a couple times I remember like looking out of my bedroom window, and cows had gotten out, like they broke through the fence, so they were just like in our actual main yard, just like chilling. I don't talk about my childhood for reasons, but there were some interesting things about it. I was country. I remember getting out and chasing chickens, you know, to get them ready to eat. When you live out in the country and you don't have a lot of money, you raise your own food. And if you yourself are not a butcher, you have friends that you can take your pig or cow or whatever to, and they will butcher it for you. Very much like a community. I wish that it was like that more now. But anyway, personally, I don't even really actually want to raise animals now. It's hard enough to raise children and 2 cats. You know, a lot of people really look down on living in rural areas, and I can understand it sometimes. Like when I go travel, especially to places like Seoul, Busan, Tokyo, Kyoto, New York City, I can see where people can get this idea of like, why would I want to live in a rural area when I could live in these large cities? I get it to an extent. The town I live in now is not quite as rural as it could be, you know, but it's still rural, and there's still people that look down on it, and that's fine. You can look down on it while you're paying 3 times what I pay for, you know, my mortgage. I'm just So my question for y'all is, have you read any of these series? And if you have, let's chat about them in the comments. And if you haven't, let me know if you would. Remember that I have already read My Brother's Husband, so if you want to chat about this a little bit more, let me know. I actually don't think I have done a manga chat about this one, and I don't know why I haven't. I think maybe I haven't because it's been quite popular, and I don't know if I have anything special to add to the conversation, but I'm sure this series will pop up in another video at some point. Anyways, on that note, I'm gonna go sit down and read your manga. Bye.